because some people get used to operating in with stress.
You got to learn to slow down, from time to time and take care of you. Because if you can't show up for yourself, you can't show up properly for others. It's this idea of recognizing within yourself when you've gone too far. I'll share my favorite practice from the book, and it's...
Hello, everyone, and welcome back, or welcome for your first time to Talkin St. I'm your host, Ryan Bogdan. Before we get into today's guest, I want to let you know this podcast is sponsored by Bogdan Homes, which is my company and how we afford to keep doing this podcast. So if you know anyone that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please look for our contact information in the description below. That's enough about that. Now on to our guest. I have the lovely Vanessa Autrey, who is a local author here in St. Petersburg and wrote the book, The Art of Balancing Burnout. She's been seen on Fox News, Voyage Magazine. She's been in various other podcasts. She hosts wellness, workshops.
Wellness
Workshops for individuals. And what a topic in today's world that is so relevant for so many people.
Yes.
Yes. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It's awesome. You reached out, and this is great because this podcast is not just about business owners that are, have places on Central Ave, right?
Mm-hmm.
To have local authors and artists and everyone else come on the show. That's really what this is all about. So I'm super excited because you're our first author.
Yes. I'm very excited to be here, and I love what you're doing so far in the community. I think it's fantastic just to get to know some of the locals, who lives here, who does what. So this is great.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun. So I know there's an amazing story behind this book because it's personal for you of what's led to writing that. So I would love for you to just dive into your story for us a little bit of how did this book come to be for you?
Yeah, great question. So, when COVID happened, I don't think we knew what the ramifications were going to be. And I think regardless of where you stand politically, et cetera, we all experienced a collective global trauma. Like that is scientifically proven, And so for me personally, it seemed like there were so many things flying around, right? You've got all of this inbound, you're changing the way you work, you're changing the way you live. And when you leave your home, it's like there's this degree of uncertainty. And so I know I'm not the only one that went through that. And for me, it was too much, right? I'm overloaded, I'm overstimulated, I'm overwhelmed. And it got so bad that I contemplated taking my own life.
That it's heavy to hear, but I know others have experienced the same thing.
Yeah. It's a lot more common than you think. And, when you look at a person, you have no idea who's walking down the street. They may be smiling, carrying their head held high, but, people consider it. And so for me, it was like all these red flags went off like, okay, you are not well right now. And so I had to take a step back and really recalibrate and, make a decision. How do we get better from here? And so I, researched different philosophies and different practices that I implemented into my own life. And I thought, well, why not write a book about it and share this with others? Because it's tangible and it's simple. We just unfortunately don't always take the time to do it for ourselves.
And because it's, you got to that point, where you thought about ending it, right? So I'm sure, and you're saying others are there, which I know that to be true. Your story's relatable. Your book was very digestible, and simple practices for people to implement. So, but at that time, so it's COVID. You're feeling, like it's the end is near, right? What were you doing at that time, and how did you experience? Like, what was going on for you in terms of work-life balance that you felt that you were burnt out?
Yeah. So, remote employee, right? I've been remote for a long time, but, things changed. All of a sudden, it was a camera on in your face every single day. And in addition to that, there's no real boundary between work and life. So when you work from home or you work for yourself, those lines get really blurry. And so there's no turn off switch. So it seems like you go from the moment you get up to the moment you put your head on your pillow, you rinse and repeat all over again. And so, I talk a lot about inserting a pause into your day or taking a moment to reflect, like doing a self check-in. That's a great practice that people can do. Just to kind of pause and say, okay, how are you? How are you doing? What do you need right now? And so the more I started, integrating these practices into my life, I found that I did begin to balance burnout, and it did move the pendulum in a different direction for me.
So, for those that maybe aren't on the extreme end of the burnout, what are
Mhm.
some red flags that you've experienced as you've now talked with others, I'm sure,
Yeah.
who maybe are near that sign that people should be looking for of like, I don't know, am I burnt out right now? Am I doing
Mhm.
too much? Like, or is this just because some people get used to operating in with stress
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
may not even realize that they're on edge.
Right, right. Oh, thank you for bringing up edge. That's a great point. I think the first thing is understanding burnout. Burnout is this term that we've been throwing around for the last 30 or 40 years, and it's catchy and it's a buzzword, but really it just boils down to accumulated stress. And the idea is everybody experiences daily stress. Like you're never going to eliminate stress from your life. The idea is, how do you counteract the stress before it becomes burnout, right? How do you counteract, the daily stressors that you're feeling? And so the idea here is find out what works for you and do more of that, right? And some of those red flags might be you saying, I'm burnout, or, you feeling that resistance when a friend asks you to make plans and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go do that. You start to notice these internal signals and we don't listen to them. Most of the time, we bulldoze over them, keep going. And we've got to
Guilty.
learn, yeah, you got to learn to slow down,
Mm.
from time to time and take care of you. Because if you can't show up for yourself, you can't show up properly for others.
I agree with that so much. I say all the time, I have to fill my cup
Yeah.
first
Yeah,
before I can pour into others,
absolutely.
or I'm empty.
I love that.
Yes. And so, I mean, for myself, there's a lot, I've experienced that during COVID as well,
Yeah.
working remotely from home,
Yeah.
being on all the time. But one thing, and I know you talk about, and you have yoga background as well,
Yeah.
is I went to yoga
Yeah.
morning and afternoon, twice a day, meditation in
Wow.
the middle,
Amazing.
journaling. I mean, I went into complete Zen mode. I had to. I started to implement all these practices for myself as the world was burning around
Yeah.
us. So literally, I was living in Philadelphia during the riots and all that stuff,
Oh my
and people were
gosh.
so worried about me. And
Yeah.
I said, "Well, if I can't see anything happening out my window, I think I'm okay." Right? That's how I was living because I didn't want to
Yeah.
watch the news. I was like, I'll wake up, I'll do my yoga, I'll
Yeah.
meditate, journal, get to
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
and it's control my controllables
Yes.
was my whole motto during that craziness.
And did it work for
They
you?
worked wonders,
I love
wonders,
that.
and I need to get back to it because
I
now I'm
love
down
that.
here doing all these amazing things, but the cup sometimes is a little more empty than I would like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. So you've been doing amazing things with the book, and you've been
Hmm.
on the news and everything like that. What what was that process like writing a book?
Mm.
Because have you done that before?
This is my
Yeah.
first. It won't be my last.
Okay, so it wasn't a horrific experience.
No, not at all. No, if anything, it's been enlightening. Ever since I was in my teens, I've wanted to write. You feel a passion or a vocation or a calling, and you say, this is what I want to do. And I think words are so wonderful in the way that they can uplift and inspire. And so for me, I want to use words as a means of communication to help others live well. And so with this, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've got a lot more in me. I'm going to go a lot deeper next time around. I just want to help people live well.
Well, and I'm sure you tell me if this is true for you that, as you begin to teach or then write something, you become more versed in it yourself,
Sure.
right? The more of a mastery. They say the best way to learn is by teaching others.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you've picked up some more things as you've dove into this realm of being an author,
Yeah.
even for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything to me, if you're not waking up and you're not learning, what's the point, right? Like, we should be eternal students, whether it's in personal things or passions or our work, what we do on a day to day. So, absolutely. There are more things that I've uncovered as I've began doing events and speaking and workshops. And I'm like, oh man, that would have been great. I wish I had included that. And it just becomes these little nuggets that, you get to share with
Can you share
others.
one now? Anything top of mind? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I mean, this whole idea that balance, and I didn't write about this and I wish I had, but it is this idea of counteracting stress. I talk in the book about being over your edge and you can read more about it, but It's this idea of recognizing within yourself when you've gone too far. The whole point is to be proactive, right? We want to be proactive with our health. And I've discovered like, okay, it is counteraction. These practices, these belief systems, they're counteracting stress in your life because you can't get rid of it. You might as well do something that helps balance it out.
Yes, yes. We're always going to have problems.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so how do you react? Instead of react, respond to them
exactly. In a
in
healthy
a
and
healthy way.
appropriate way.
Yes, 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 yes. And so, well, I love what you're doing. I love the book. It's beneficial for me and something that I need to go back to because my yoga practice has fallen off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not twice a day like it used to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Need to get back now. How long have you been doing yoga?
Oh gosh. 15 years.
Nice.
A teacher for 3 of those
Oh,
years,
nice.
but personal practice. And one of the greatest things I've learned is yoga is the journey of the self through the self.
Mm.
And so when you dive into like yoga and you think of yoga in American terms, it can get a little like it's a great workout and I feel great and you get all these endorphins, but really it's also an inside journey. And so I learned so much just about myself and cultivated self-awareness through that regimen and through, you're in a difficult posture and you're holding it and they're like, keep breathing. It's like, do you know how like uncomfortable this is?
Yeah,
Right?
my legs are on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like, no, like that breath is what helps like
Mhm.
carry you through. And that's metaphorical in and of itself.
Yes, because
So
the breath is so grounding and
yeah,
recenters you and brings you back. Yeah, as you were saying that, I'm like, yeah, no, but the best times for yoga me was like holding pigeon for 3 minutes, just sitting with that.
yeah,
Because I don't know,
absolutely.
I know I hold a lot of stress in my hips. Never knew that before yoga. What stress in
Yeah,
hips? Who?
yeah,
What is that?
yeah,
Yeah, but you start to feel it.
yeah.
And all these different things start to come up as you're sitting in that posture for a little bit.
Hmm.
Thoughts that you haven't explored or even known were there
Yeah,
for a long time.
it's therapy.
It really is.
It's therapy. And, hips hold a lot of seeds of our emotions. So when you're doing hip openers and things like that, stuff's going to come up.
Yeah.
And, you may or may not be prepared for it.
As
But
Shakira said, these hips
yeah,
don't lie.
yeah, exactly. Precisely. Precisely.
I don't know why I'm feeling a little silly today. Okay, so local St. Pete, where did you grow up?
So I was actually born in a little town called Newport Richey. So not too far away from
Not
here.
far at all.
Not far at all. I did grow up. My grandmother has lived out on TI, Treasure Island, for as long as I can remember. So I've been coming out to Sunset Beach since I was a little girl, hanging out at her place. It's become a part of me. I'm a USF grad, so
Nice.
I did graduate from USF some time ago. And, when I was in college, St. Pete was not the place to be.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Maybe for First Friday, if you're feeling a little feisty and a little adventurous, you drive across the bridge and go. But now, oh my gosh, I love what I've seen in the development, both culturally and just the people that are moving here and the ambiance that it's creating. I love St. Pete.
Love it. Yeah, obviously I do. I'm biased,
Yeah,
right?
a little
To
bit.
be
It's
on this
okay.
show talking St. Pete.
Yeah.
But so I always like to hear different people's opinions. So how have you seen it change, since being here for a little bit, you're saying, okay, if you're feeling a little froggy on a first Friday, right? You might venture over, but now it's
Yeah.
like if you're not out here every weekend, you're missing out.
You're missing something.
Yeah.
And there's always so many things happening. I mean, whatever your flavor is, you're going to find something fun to do. I remember driving down Central Avenue and the windows being boarded up, and it wasn't a place you wanted to park, wasn't a place I would wander around by myself. And now I wander by myself all the time. Like, I feel safe. Like I feel this sense of community. All these amazing restaurants and just pop-up concepts that are coming to town.
And
It's
when did you notice that switch?
I'd say within the last 3 to 5 years, it has accelerated tremendously since COVID.
Yes.
I think people, and you saw this happen in a lot of little small towns, but particularly here, I think people realize work-life balance matters. And when I'm not working, I want to enjoy my time. I want to do things that I love, be outdoors, go to museums, go to eat great food. And St. Pete delivers that.
It sure does. It does not fail. There is so much to do, and the vibe and the culture of the people.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like with your book, they are very receptive to this because it is the vibe of work-life balance. I'm here. We're in sunny Florida. A lot of people from the north have moved here,
Yeah.
and they want to be outside, and they
Yeah.
are remote,
Yeah.
and so they're susceptible to the burnout
Yeah.
of when do I turn it off?
Right.
And yeah, so I want to go back to the book for a second. So
Yeah.
give those that are listening that are like, okay, I'm maybe feeling some of that right now. What's something that someone could go do right now?
Ooh, I love that you asked that. I'll share my favorite practice from the book, and it's go out and have your perfect day. So something I ask people, especially in my workshops, is I'll say, hey, okay, your next activity, we're going to design your perfect day. And it's just to get your wheels turning, thinking within your wheelhouse and your capability. Like for you, let's do it together.
Okay, fun.
So, okay. What are some of your favorite things to do here in St. Pete?
In St.
Just for you, not work
Yeah.
related, not for just for Ryan.
Okay, if we're staying to St. Pete, because the first thing came to mind is skydiving, but that's in Z Hills. So in St. Pete, one of my favorite things to do is walk through Vinoy along the water.
Love that.
Yeah.
I do that too. That's one of my favorite
Yeah,
things.
you can't. You're gonna see dolphins. You're gonna see the
Yeah.
community hang
Yeah.
out. It's a wonderful thing to do.
Okay, are you a coffee or a tea drinker?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like croissants?
Who doesn't?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, maybe a perfect day for you would be, carving out a couple hours in the morning. You maybe go catch sunrise. Cassis is fantastic.
Yes, that would be a great spot to go for that. And I love the sunrise over the bay is
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful.
It's fantastic.
And I don't get to catch it enough.
Yeah.
So I need to make it purposeful to do that. Okay. So you walk someone through. Okay. So for me, yeah, a perfect morning.
Yeah.
Like it's 2 hours to myself in the morning
Yeah.
is a perfect day because then it doesn't matter.
Right.
That's kind of
Because
how
you filled your cup.
that's it.
And that's the whole point is what fills your cup. One of the workshops I recently did with the Hillsborough County social workers, she's a mom and a wife. She has 2 kids, and she has a candle, and her candle is her thing. So when she gets home from a long day, she tends to the family and does all that. She said, 8:30, I light my candle. She's like, and that's my time. My kids and my husband know that when they see that candle lit, mama's doing her thing, and to give me some time for me.
What a cool signal to just give to the family because
Yeah.
that is important.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. We wear so many hats through the day.
Yeah.
Whether it's whatever you're doing for work, and then your personal life, and then family, and then you're a brother, you're a sister, you're a husband, wife, spouse. All these
The
things.
list goes on.
And when do you come into that?
Right. Right. We hear all this like self-care talk, and it's like, how do we feel about this? You matter too. And like I told you a few minutes ago, you can't properly show up for the people you love or for your job or fill in the blank if you aren't taking care of yourself first. And so that matters just as equally, if not more so. What can you do to fill your cup?
Yes. Okay. So that's something we got. Do your perfect day.
Yeah.
And I guess the first thing would be to identify what is that? Because some people might be like, well, I don't know. I know I have that conversation with people.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like to do? What do you
It's a
mean?
great dating question.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I just work and I just show up and I don't do anything for fun. Like, okay, well, that's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Even if it's just reading a book or staring at the clouds,
Yeah.
there's got to be something.
Absolutely. And, it gives you opportunity to find your passion. I mean, there are so many programs here, whether, maybe you want to take a pottery class. Maybe you want to go take a painting class. I mean,
Glass
these things,
blowing.
Yeah, glass blowing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
Where is that? Do it.
Morian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
it's so cool.
I haven't done it, but I every time I drive past it, I'm like, oh, I need to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the sky's the limit. And, I think St. Pete's wonderful in the way that it's so receptive that if you have something funky or eclectic, maybe you did, back home and you want to bring it here, you could start a skydiving club, and then get together with other people that maybe are scared to do it and want to jump with somebody that's well-versed and well-experienced. So don't be afraid to create something yourself and just go play with it.
Eclectic and funky, I think, is more receptive to St. Pete than being a square in a box.
Yeah, absolutely.
St. Pete likes the funky,
Yeah,
eclectic vibe. The
exactly.
more funky, probably the better.
Exactly. The diversity here and the degree of acceptance, I think, is just unparalleled. So, yeah.
So, when's your next book come out?
Great question. Uh, it's probably within the next year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you working on it now?
I'm working on it now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for those that are thinking right now, oh yeah, maybe I want to write a book one day. This guy,
Yeah.
how do you start? Because
Mm,
I'm not a big writer. Like I can for myself, I guess, if thoughts are just flowing.
yeah.
But I just like to talk.
Yeah.
Like that's the way for me to process things
Yeah.
is verbally. So the thought of writing a book to me seems like this monstrous task.
So, the first is, do I have something valuable to say? And if you feel like you have something valuable to say, that's the motivation. Whether one person reads it or a million people read it, if you feel you have something valuable to say, you should say it. And so, from a process standpoint, I start with an outline. My outlines become my Bible. They become what I reference back to because I have a little ADD and I can get pulled in a million directions because there's so many options. But if you have your outline and you say, okay, chapter 1 is going to be about this, and chapter 2, and so forth, and then you begin to build upon that outline and you elaborate a little more, your outline becomes kind of that foundation that you can build the book upon. And so when you get pulled in another direction, you can refer back and say, okay, maybe that's for book 3 or book 4. So same thing. Start with your outline, title and all that kind of stuff comes later. Think about what you have to say and build your outline from there.
Okay, that's good advice. I like that. Do you battle writer's block?
I think every writer battles writer's block. But what I have learned is it's about carving out time to do it and then holding yourself accountable to it. And so I'm reading right now a book called Big Magic
Okay.
by Liz Gilbert.
Never heard of it.
She wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Okay.
So I'm sure you've heard of Eat, Pray, Love.
Yes, I have. I haven't read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's phenomenal. She wrote Big Magic, and it's this concept that like we all have creative energy locked up inside of us. Even if you're the most like, by the book, XYZ, we all have creative energy that wants to be released in some way, shape, or form. And her idea is like start somewhere. Like just start doing it. And maybe you pivot and maybe it changes. That's okay. The idea is to like let that animal out of the cage.
Yeah, to express the creativity. And there's times in my life, and I'm just saying this from person because that's what I can relate to, where you're like, oh, I haven't been creative in a while. And you can feel like this need to express yourself in a way of just like, for me, it'd be like video editing or, I don't know, even a creative conversation, which I get to, luckily this has been my expression of that art. But before this, there's times where you're like, I don't just need to have a deep conversation can feel expressive and art, like ability to express myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
If you're feeling that way, something I do, I am not a good painter. Like I am actually a very bad painter, but I love painting. And so when I'm feeling kind of like funky or pent up, I'll go to like Marshall's or not Marshall's, but Michael's.
Yep.
Yeah, the craft store.
Yeah.
And you grab a canvas. They're usually buy one, get one 50% off. I usually need at least 2 because something happens. But, just grab some paint and grab a canvas, throw some newspaper down and like just
let it go.
Just let it go. And I did this with my dad, who, he's an older gentleman, and I don't think he's picked up a paintbrush since he was a little kid. And we sat down at the table, and he painted something better than all of us. I was shocked. I have it hanging on my wall. I was like, this is so abstract. This is fantastic. Dad, I didn't know you were an artist. He's like, me neither. But he let it out onto the canvas. And so, just don't be afraid to try something that sounds a little out of the box for you. I mean, you can have fun with it.
Yeah, just anything to express yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. So what do you like to do in St. Pete?
Gosh, I'm such an anomaly because I like so many things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We have time.
Yeah, we have fantastic museums.
Mhm.
I love art. I love just going and
What's your favorite
my favorite like type of
museum?
art. Oh, so Museum of Fine Arts. I'm a member there. They haven't been always so nice to me, so I have to put that plug in the plug. But they have an amazing collection, and the installations that they bring in are just they're phenomenal. And so, the memberships aren't that expensive, and sometimes I'll go in the middle of the week, and just kind of look and see what these other masters created, even before they were masters. And sometimes your brain needs a
hmm
little massage, and so that's one thing I love to do. I love wandering down Central, like when the weather's nice and cool. And I always seem like I find something new, this new boutique or this new shop. So just walking and wandering around town, I think is the best way to get a good view of what's happening in your city.
1,000%.
Food, right?
Food, yeah, love that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you like to go to eat?
Um,
Favorite spot?
Favorite spot, Mio's Grill.
Oh, that one has not been said yet.
Yeah.
Okay, where's that?
So Mio's, I believe it's downtown. It's around the corner from Copper Shaker.
Oh, okay.
And I think like second and third
Okay. Yep.
area, they're not very well known about, but I mean, they're from like Turkey, and the food that they make, it's phenomenal.
Mio's Grill. We're putting them on the spot right now.
Mio's Grill, yeah,
Okay.
they're wonderful, and their staff has just treated me like gold from day one.
Love that.
I'm a regular. I go once a week.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, they're fantastic over there.
Okay, you got another spot?
Baba,
Oh, yeah, of course.
obviously.
Yeah.
Newer, right?
Yep.
They're opened up more recently. But I've found that there's not anything on the menu I don't like. Particularly their dessert. I'm not a sweet, like
Yeah.
I don't have a sweet tooth, but they make that baklava.
Oh, can't go wrong with a good baklava.
Have you had it
I have
there?
not, but I'm going to.
Cinnamon ice cream
Oof.
with like, I think pistachio or some kind of,
Oof.
oh, let me tell you.
Vanessa, I'm hungry already. You're like,
Me and my husband fought over this dessert because, like, normally I'm like, yeah, I take a bite here, you can have it. I was like, I don't think so. I
no,
don't
this is
know.
we need to order two,
Yeah, I think-
please.
yeah, this is
Two
gonna be a
separate
two.
forks.
Yeah, next time for sure.
Love that. Are you a coffee or tea drinker?
Mostly tea.
Mostly tea. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you go get tea in the city anywhere?
I'm
No.
kind of a
A
homebody when
homebody,
it comes
yeah,
to
yeah, no.
I am a little bit picky, but I'm hoping more tea places
Okay.
open up.
That leads to one of the questions I like to ask is
Yeah.
what is St. Pete missing?
I think we need a good tea house. Yeah, I think we need a good tea house. In the sense of there's plenty of cafes that people can go and hang out, and they each have their own unique vibe. But with like tea houses, it's this kind of calming ambiance,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a ritual. Like with tea, it's ritualistic in the sense of like it forces you to pause and like reflect.
Yeah.
And my husband, who's the most go guy I know, I have recently gotten him into tea, and he's starting to get it. Like he's starting to get like, okay, this is my pause. This is my
this is my moment.
Yeah, this is my moment. And
Mhm.
so I would love to see a really cool tea house pop up in St. Pete.
Me too. I used to be really big into tea. Like had the Japanese cast iron
Oh,
pot,
yeah.
did loose leaf, like
Yeah.
all the things. We tried blending different styles of teas together on my own to
Yes.
see, to get them going.
Yes.
It was my thing for a while. I don't know why I've fallen off.
I wish I had known. I would have brought mine. We could have had a
This
little
is
Tetsubin action.
little tea.
Yeah,
Well, when you
yeah.
do the next book, we'll have you on. We can have tea.
I love that.
Yeah. What's your go-to?
Oh, like white or green teas.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love a good white or green tea. Jasmine pearl.
Yeah, I like a jasmine pearl. Yeah.
I'm like really into my jasmine teas right now. And I change, I change my flavor, but right now it's that jasmine pearl action.
Love it. Okay, so Newport Richey down here now in St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of all the new development and with the direction of St. Pete that's going as you're seeing it? Like it's a lot of cool, fun things. Some people are worried about it.
Yeah. My whole thing is don't make it Miami. That's all I ask.
I've heard that.
Yeah, that's all I ask of the developers. I think growth is great for a city. I think, we're getting a lot more great restaurant concepts and unique ideas. But at the same time, I don't want St. Pete to lose its charm.
Yeah.
Like, what makes it this accepting, like, diverse community? I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah, and part of it is that it's all local businesses. Right before the show, we were
Right.
talking about you were just at Toast the Hostess
Yeah.
with Shelby and Michelle. You did an
Yes.
event there. What tell us? What'd you do there?
Love them. So they do a champagne happy hour. I believe it's on Wednesdays, and it's $5 glasses of bubbly. And they're just such bright, fun, beautiful women. Like, when I connect with women like that, I'm like, yes, I see you, you see me,
Yeah.
we get each other. And so they wanted to celebrate, me as a local woman for International Women's Day. And I felt honored. I'm like, yes, like, I'll be there. And, we had tons of local women show up that were just so supportive. And, it was a great time.
I love that. When I saw that post on social media, I was like, how cool is this? I already
Yeah.
had them on. I'm having
Yeah,
Vanessa on.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the community is so connected
Yes.
here, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I found is as I talk with someone, they already know someone I've already talked to or someone I'm going to be
Yes.
talking to or someone else
Yes.
that I should be. It's just everyone knows everyone in a loving, fun way.
Yeah.
And it's accepting more than just on a business level. It's like
Yeah.
people are genuinely friends
Yeah.
and like to hang out and do
Yeah.
cool things together.
But isn't that the whole idea behind community?
Right. No,
And
it
that's
is.
what I love about St. Pete is it's so communal.
Yes.
Like, I've yet to meet a person where I'm like, like, I genuinely find that people want to be here. They enjoy living here. And they want to see, fellow business owners, fellow, community members just win, right? To do well and win. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So I know you're a reader. You
Mhm.
obviously wrote a book. Besides the one you're currently reading, if you had to recommend one book or gift it to somebody,
Yeah.
what would that book be? Besides your own.
Great question. The Greatest Salesman in the World
Oh,
by Og Mandino
okay.
changed my life.
Really?
Yeah. It's so powerful. And I typically read nonfiction.
Mhm.
This is a fictional book, but the story, so
So when you
good.
said that title, no way in my mind did I think that it was fictional. So that's cool.
Yeah. It's I'll buy you a copy. I'll gift you a copy as a thanks
Appreciate that.
for having me on
Yeah,
the
of
show,
course.
especially because you are in sales.
Yeah.
So I think you'll appreciate a lot of the principles, but
And
yeah,
I haven't read a good fiction book in a while.
it's powerful.
Yeah?
It'll touch you where you need it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay, good. All
Yeah.
right, that's good. That's good. I always like to ask because not everyone's a reader,
Sure.
But when you are, you always have good nuggets somewhere
Yeah,
that you like to give. Have you ever read The Four Agreements?
of course.
Yeah, of course. That's my
Yeah.
book. Like I love to just hand that one out. Like it's
Yes.
all the time.
Oh, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Another one is Man's Search for Meaning
Okay.
by Viktor Frankl.
Okay.
And he survived a Nazi concentration camp in Germany. And he talks about, how he didn't let his hope die and how that was the one thing when he saw people, not making it around him, that he let his hope continue on. And so it was just, that's a harder read.
Yeah.
But it's certainly in-depth look at that and powerful stuff.
I like that. Hearing people who've gone through hard times like that or faced adversity and then made it
Yeah.
out on the other side creates
Yeah.
such a character and makes you realize most likely whatever you're going through, someone's got it a little
Right.
harder. Right.
Well, and it inspires you to keep going yourself,
Mhm.
and we all need that.
For
So.
sure. We gotta use all the tools. We gotta read your book. We need to know how to balance burnout.
Yeah.
And it was a great reflection for me, because I've you can ask Dom.
Mhm.
I'm doing 4 things at once every day.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but we're having a lot of fun, and we're super excited that we're able to have you on and
Yes.
learn all about you and the book, and I'm super excited for the next one.
Yeah.
So
me
a year.
too. A year out.
Okay, good. We'll see what the podcast is doing at that time. So we already got your favorite restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
Mio.
Mio's Grill.
Mio's Grill.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Mio's Grill.
Mio's
we got
Grill.
to add that to the list. Check out that place because I
Yep.
haven't heard of that one
I
yet.
don't know if they're on Instagram, but let me tell you what. You
Yeah.
look up Mio's Grill.
Okay. All right. We're
Good
gonna do it.
stuff.
We're gonna do it. I think for those that are still listening, what should we have the word be that they comment if they're still here hanging with us? Should it be burnout or not? Balancing.
Balance.
Balance.
Yeah.
If you're still listening, comment balance. show the love and support. Check out Vanessa. Where can they find you?
Oh, yeah. So my website, vanessaautry.com. And, I'm out and about.
Yeah.
I'm always bouncing around
Yeah.
town. You probably see me at a museum or a cafe. Say hi, say hey. I love meeting new faces and new people and making new connections. So.
Love that. And the book's available on Amazon.
Amazon, it's available everywhere books are sold. Tombolo, Book and Bottle. If you guys have never been to Book and Bottle,
go check out Book and Bottle.
Oh my gosh, one of the best. You have to have Tara on here. She's
you know her?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make the introduction for
perfect.
you because she started her business in COVID and it has just accelerated and women led.
Such a cool idea.
Yes. Yeah. Great wine, great stuff. And Oxford Exchange, if you're over on the Tampa side of things, Oxford Exchange keeps copies in hand. So yeah.
So everywhere.
Yeah.
Vanessa Autrey, she's around town, local author, a fantastic human being. I appreciate you for being on here. And thank you for everyone who's still listening and watching. Comment balance in the comments if you're still here with us. And again, sponsored by Bogdan Homes. If you know anyone who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, we're here to help. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you. That was fun.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, that was good. That was fantastic. It was perfect.